Namaste students, how are you? I hope everyone are doing well with these classes, and in the previous session we have discussed about mean by one is direct method, another one is assumed method. So assumed method a plus sigma fi di by sigma fi, and direct method is sigma fi xi by sigma fi. Sigma fx shortly you can write as sigma fx by sigma f. So in this class we are going to discuss another method for mean. I hope you understood the previous sessions which we have discussed the direct method as well as assumed method. So that continuation from that direct method, and then next we got assumed method. From the assumed method now we are deriving that mean by step deviation. So if the data is too large, then only we need to go for the other methods. If the data is smaller, then we can use direct method. In examination, if we mention particularly use or calculate the mean by so and so method, if they mention any name, direct or assumed or step deviation, then based on the question only you have to follow. If they mention any method, then you have to stick on to the method. If not, you can use any method. So in this class we are going to discuss about step deviation method. Mean by step deviation means we are reducing the calculation part. That's why step deviation, deviating, reducing, subtraction, deviating. So mean by step deviation method. Look at the board. Mean by step deviation method. So mean is denoted by x bar. We all know that mean x bar is equals to sigma a plus sigma fi ui by sigma fi into h. X bar is equals to a plus sigma fi ui by sigma fi into h. Here the terminology, what it shows actually in that a assumed mean, that assumed mean from where we are taking, from xi. Any one value we are choosing from xi. What is xi? Class marks. What is xi? Class marks. What is a class marker? How do you calculate class mark? Lower limit, any one of you can say. Lower limit plus upper limit by 2 is a class mark. Next, ui. Ui we are getting from xi minus a by h, or you can write here what is xi. Look at this. What is actually xi? Di. Xi minus a is di by h. Like this also you can write. But for our convenient, ui is equals to xi minus a by h, or you can write di is nothing but xi minus a. Di is nothing but xi minus a. So in that previous method, which is assumed mean method, we use di. So di is equals to xi minus a. So ui, if you want, that should be divided by h. Now what is h? That is the class size or width of the class. Class size or width of the class. Based on the given data, we will come to know what exactly the class size or width of the class. Fi is the frequency of the given class. Once again, everyone revise the formula. What is the formula to find the mean by step deviation? X bar is equals to, mean x bar is equals to a plus sigma fi ui by sigma fi into h. So this term sigma fi ui by sigma fi, that is in a bracket, into h. H is nothing but class size or width of the class. A is assumed mean, from where we are assuming among the xi values any one of the observation can be taken as a. Then ui is equals to, you can write as di by h or xi minus a by h. So we will discuss one example about this question. A step deviation. What is the method we are doing now? Step deviation. For what we are using? To calculate the mean. When do we use the method? When the data is too large. too large. So we are going to discuss one question about this mean by step deviation method. Now we see from exercise 14.1 question number 6. Question number 6 is the survey of daily expenditures of some households. Once everyone look into the textbook. Exercise 14.1 question number 6 already we finished. I think I gave you homework based on the method which what is that method which I gave you before that? Assumed mean method. So once again we do this question. If I didn't explain, if I didn't give homework, then it is okay. If I give homework, once again we do the same but in another method, that is question number 6. Daily expenditures of 25 households, 25 members, 25 in a survey of locality, 25 people survey they have taken. Everyone look into the textbook and read the question once. That is 25 people data is collected and the daily expenditure between so and so data is given. And now you find the mean by using the suitable methods. Which method is suitable? That you can. Which method is suitable? When the data is big, the class intervals are 200, 100 to 150, 150 to 200 like this. So this data. Now for this we are going to use by step deviation method. So actually what are these daily expenditure and number of households? 100 to 150. What do you call this? Class interval. Is the continuation data or discontinuation data? Continuation data, right? So 150 to 200, 200 to 250 is given and the frequency. The total frequency is 25. Add the total frequency. 12, 4 plus 5, 9, 9 plus 12, 12, 21 plus 2, 23 plus 2. 25 is the total frequency. That's what the survey has taken in a locality of 25 households. Read the question once again. Now for that, what do we call these class intervals? So I am just writing as number of daily expenditure but here we are taking as class intervals. So for the time consumption I just will write as class intervals, then frequency. Observe it. What is the class interval? First one 100 to 150. 100 to 150. Next class interval 150 to 200. Next class interval 200 to 250. Next class interval 250 to 300. Next class interval 300 to 350. So these are the class intervals given. Frequency is 4, 5, 12, 2, 2. Now these two we got from question. Question is as it is we are writing, but instead of writing daily expenditure I mentioned as class interval. Instead of writing number of households I wrote as frequency. Now after this, what exactly the formula? Mean x bar is equals to a plus sigma fi ui. I'll write the formula over here. Just look at this, or else below this I will write below the step. What is the mean x bar formula? Observe it. Mean x bar is equals to a plus sigma fi ui by sigma fi into h. Sigma fi ui by sigma fi into h. Now we need a. A how to calculate among the xi values. A how to calculate among the xi values. So for that we need to calculate xi. That is the next column what we are doing here. Xi. Now xi in this place. Observe it. Xi. The total frequency is 25. I'll write the formula once again. The total frequency is 25. That is nothing but sigma fi. What do you call this one? Total frequency. Sigma fi is equals to 25. This is total frequency. Now mean x bar is equals to a plus sigma fi ui by sigma fi into h. Now xi values. How to calculate upper limit, lower limit plus upper limit by 2. 100 plus 150. 100 plus 150. How much you will get? 100 plus 150? 250. So 250 divided by 2. How much you will get? 125. 220. 100 plus 150. 250. If you divide with 2, 125. 2 ones are 2 twos are 2 fives are. So first class mark is 125. So this is 125. Next class mark 150 plus 200, you will be getting 350. 350. 350 divided by 2, you will be getting 175. You see the class size. Class size how much is increasing? 50 is the class size. So this will be 175. Similarly, you obtain these values plus 50, 175 plus 50, 225 plus 50, 275 plus 50, 325. 325. Observe it. 300 plus 350, 650. 650, half of 650, 325. If you divide 650 with 2 threes are and 2 twos are 2 fives are. Now after this you have to calculate di. How to calculate di value? Or directly you can write xi minus a by h, but first we calculate di. Di is equals to xi minus a. This is the formula, xi minus a. Di is equals to xi minus a. Observe it, xi minus a. A value we have to assume among these xi values. Any value you can take. I already told in the last class. You take any value and substitute for any question, then you obtain the same result. So now I take the middle one, that is 225. Let a. You have to mention which value you are assuming. That value you should underline and write in the bracket, that is a. You must write. You have to mention. Remember, this is a very important step. You have to underline which value you are assuming, and in the bracket you write a. Let a. Okay. Now xi minus a. 125 minus 225. 125 minus 225. If you subtract xi minus a, this is xi, this is a. So how much you will get? 125 minus 225 minus 100. Next, 175 minus 225. Look at the board. Xi, next value. 175 minus a, 225. So that will be minus 50. Next, 225 minus 225. Xi is the same. A value is also same. So this is 0. Next, 275. Xi is 275 minus 225. This will be 50. Next, 325 minus 225. Again it will be 100. So here we obtained di values. Now after di value, what you have to calculate? Ui. Ui is equals to, you can write as di by h or xi minus a by h. Xi minus a by h. What is this formula? Xi minus a by h. What is h? H is equals to class size 100 to 150. 150 to 200. What is the class size? 50 is the class size. What is the class size? 50 is the class size. So here I am mentioning h is equals to, look at the board. I am not adding these values. H is equals to class size. For us to remember, h is equals to 50. From the formula, this is the formula, h is there. So what is the h? Class size, that is 50. So now xi minus a values are this. Xi minus a values are this. So these values we are dividing with h. What is h value? 50. So minus 100 by 50, you will be getting minus 2. See, the data is became very small calculations we are obtaining. Now actually it was 100. Now it became as 2. Minus 100 by 50. Xi minus a by h. Next, minus 50 by 50 will give you minus 1. 0 by 50, as we know, 0 by 50. Nothing is there to divide. Nothing is there to divide. 0 by 50. 0 by any number is 0. 0. 0. We already learned in integer chapter. Division happens or not. 0 by any number will give you same result. That is the same 0 only you will be getting. 0 by any number is 0. Now 0 by any number, denominator should not be 0 other than 0. Any number you keep, that is 0. 50 by 50 is 1. 100 by 50 is 2. Did you observe the data became very small? Now after this, the last column which is required in this for this method, that is which method we are using? Mean by step deviation. What is the method name? Step deviation. So now Fi ui. What is the method? Fi ui. Now what is Fi value? Observe it. 4. 4 into minus 2. Observe it. This is Fi. 4 and ui values are this. 4 into minus 2. That is minus 8. Next. 5 into minus 1. Minus 5. Next. 12 into 0. 0. 2 into 1, 2. Next, 2 into 2, 4. See the data how it became very less values. Calculation part is reducing here. Now if you add these values, that is known as sigma Fi ui. Sigma Fi ui. Observe it. 4 plus 2 is 6. Minus 8 plus minus 5 is minus 13. Minus 13 plus 6, the value is minus 13 plus 6 will be minus 7. So sigma Fi ui value is minus 7. Sigma Fi total frequency is 25 and this is a h. H is a class size. H is a class size. Now formula we wrote x bar is equals to a plus sigma Fi ui by sigma Fi into h. Actually for the space on the board directly to explain with the formula, I have written here below that, below this, so that you can remember the formula very easily. So a plus sigma Fi ui by sigma Fi into h, this is the formula. We know all the values from the table. A value, that is 225, sigma Fi ui, that is minus 7, sigma Fi, the total is total frequency is 25 and h is the class size which is nothing but 50. So if you substitute these values in this formula, mean x bar is equals to mean x bar is equals to, formula is here, x bar is equals to a plus sigma Fi ui by sigma Fi into h. A value is how much? You assumed in the table 225. So I'll write down all the values. Mean. First I'll write a is equals to 225. H is equals to 50. Class size is 50. Then sigma Fi ui is equals to minus 7 and sigma Fi is equals to, observe it, sigma Fi is equals to 25. These are the values which are required to get the result to substitute in the formula. A value we know, sigma Fi ui, sigma Fi, and h is also we know. Now mean x bar is equals to a plus sigma Fi ui by sigma Fi into H. You may be getting doubts or why we are writing 2 times formula. I just wrote here only the purpose of the values which we required from the table, so that you will remember, yes, UI means this, H means this. For that purpose I have written the formula, and H is the class size, not this total. H is the class size. Remember, H is the class size. Next, so X bar is equals to 225 plus sigma Fi UI minus 7 by 25 into H is the class size 50, X which is equals to 225, observe it, plus 25 ones are, you can simplify these two, 20, because this part you can simplify, 25 ones are 25 twos are, don't cancel 25 into 25, this operation is plus, here the operation is plus, you cannot cancel these two, and if any number is suitable to get cancel, in this place also you can cancel, but not these two. So 25 ones are, 25 twos are. Now what you have, 225 plus minus 7 into 2, observe it, minus 7 into 2 will be minus 14, which is equals to 225 plus into minus 14. What is the result? Observe it, minus 7 into 2, 7 twos are 14 over, now plus into minus 225 minus 14, you will be getting 5 minus 4. From 225 you are subtracting 14. So 211. Therefore, mean X bar is equals to 211. What is the difference between the previous method, that is assumed method, and this one? Assumed method, we stopped only for after DI, then we calculated Fi into Di. In this method, what we are doing? We are calculating UI. What is the formula? UI is equals to Xi minus A by H. See, formulas and the terms you must remember and recollect every time. In these formulas, see, UI is equals to Xi minus A by H. In other way, I told you Xi minus A is nothing but Di. So Xi minus A, you can write even here Di by H. In the last recent March 2020 batch, in that examination they asked the question, that is, what is the formula? What is UI is equals to dash. What you will write? You can opt Xi minus A by H, you can write, or else you can write Di by H. That's why in the formula I gave both Xi minus A by H or Di by H. You must remember and revise the formulas every time. Whenever you get the time, you need to revise the formulas so that you will remember. Now, this method is known as step deviation method. What is the step deviation method? Formula to find mean. X bar is equals to A plus sigma Fi UI by sigma Fi into H. Here I wrote so that the values which we need to calculate from the formula, you can write the table. And after getting the values, A value, how you are getting? Among the class marks. Is it, suppose you may get doubt, sir, can I take 125? Yes, you can take 125, you get the same answer. Somebody, sir, can I take 175? Yes, you can take 175. You also get the same answer, 211. Somebody will say, sir, 275. Yes, you can take 275 as A. You will get the same answer. Once if you have doubt, the same question, you can take another value among the class marks. You check, you will be obtaining the result same. This is step deviation method. I hope you understood how to calculate step deviation method. What we are doing? Class intervals, frequencies, then class mark, lower limit plus upper limit by 2, Di. Among the class mark we are taking A value. Among the class marks we are taking one A value. Then Xi minus A, that is Di. Then UI is equals to Xi minus A by H, where H is the class size. That is, these values we are dividing with H, that is a class size. H is different from question to the question. It will not be same 50 for all the questions. Based on the given data, you need to check what is the class size or width of the class. Another name, class size or width of the class. This is step deviation method. I hope you understood. Yeah. What is the formula to find mean by step deviation method? X bar is equals to A plus sigma Fi Ui by sigma Fi into H. What is the formula? X bar is equals to A plus sigma Fi Ui by sigma Fi into H. Now, today's session we have discussed this. What is Ui? Xi minus A by H. So based on this formula, already you finished this second and fifth question from exercise 14.1, but still once again we are doing these two questions by another method. These two questions by another method, which is nothing but step deviation method. Step deviation method. See, question number 2 and 5 by step deviation method you have to finish as homework. You have to finish as homework. Which method you are doing? Step deviation method. Step deviation method. In this method, any doubts you have, you can clarify in the next session. Difference between direct method and assumed method and step deviation method. You see, whatever the method you use, finally the result will be same. Even assuming the A value also among the class mark, any value you can take. Any value you take, you get the same answer. So these are the two homework questions for this today's class. I hope you understood which method you have to do this question. Step deviation method from exercise 14.1, question number 2 and 5 by step deviation method. Thank you children. We see in the next session the missing frequency from the same exercise question. One question is there, that, and we continue for the next mode of central measures of central tendencies, that is another one, mean over now mode, we will see in the next class. Thank you.